went against the will of the people. The question is, will it actually happen, considering this is the first time such a route is being taken with regards to legislators right here in the country? Tonight, I'm joined by two gentlemen. In studio with me is Honorable Dr. Daniel Manduku, who's the legislator for Nyaribari Masaba. And of course, joining me virtually is Bob Mkangi, who's a constitutional lawyer. So I'd just love to begin with you, Mheshimiwa. Looking at what transpired today, the pronouncements that were made by those leaders alluded to the fact that part of the debate that informed the recent anti-government protest was in relation to the issue surrounding the delayed signing of this bill into law. But looking at the Gen Zs and other stakeholders, they've taken issue with this pronouncement, saying that what is happening right now is politicians doing what they do best, regrouping to serve their interests and not necessarily looking at what the question is at hand, which is an overhaul of the system. Do you believe this is what is at play?
Thank you very much, Alan. And let me say that it's always a pleasure to come to the studio. First, from the onset, I think, let me pass my condolences to the families and friends of the 41 or so children who died as a result of the protests. Further, let me wish those in hospital a quick and speedy recovery. First, let me thank the President also for doing the right thing and signing into law the IEBC Amendment Act 2024 as passed in Parliament. The President has powers to send back any law with the memoranda. But today we saw him signing this law. I think it was timely. But of course, one wonders whether it was due to the pressure. Because I think this law was passed even long before the finance bill. But that aside, and forgive me for being too open, I still think that we are not listening to the young people from where I sit. And I'll give you my reasons. First, and with due respect to our leaders, look at the picture of the leaders who are present. Who says that for any bill to be signed, there must be the speakers, the majority, the minority leader, the leader of opposition? We are still not listening to the people, to the young people. Because if you take today's picture or photograph and take a similar photograph in the year 2020 and a similar photograph in the year 2010, 75% of the faces will recur. And that is a problem with this country. We are not agreeing that people are tired of our faces, me included. The young people are telling us, your time is up. We don't listen to that. The second thing I have an issue with, you cannot invite 150 people and make the youth the minority. If it was me, I would have invited 100 youth and 50 other people. Why am I saying this? Because we talk every day. The NADCO report, which culminated in the signing of, or in the enactment of the IBC, was about talking. And we talked in Bomas, we talked on the streets. And what other talk are we going to have except what we've done in the past? You see, we are very good in Kenya, and we are known for that, in doing very good reports. Right from 1960, it is always said that what made Malaysia grow is a report that they borrowed from Kenya. The young people came and made demands. You have to just open your social media outlets and you'll see what they want. What are we talking about?
Well, Mheshimiwa, let me come in there. I mean, the youth have their demand. The Gen Zs have their demand. But on the flip side, there is a delicate balance that people are trying to now look into in terms of us tipping over to anarchy and us still operating within the guidelines of the Constitution. So what is this overhaul that the Gen Zs are asking, that they demand as of today? And if you were the president today,
normally
what would have you done?
In management, you normally go for what we call the low-hanging fruits. And signing the IBC Act into law today was one of them. There are other few ones, 10, 20. If you look at those demands, I have a list of them, 50 of them. Before we start talking, let us grasp the low-hanging fruits. But that aside, and getting back to your question, I am on record as having said that the 13th Parliament, as currently constituted, has shown that it is not responsive to the voices of the Kenyans. What better way to prove that than having a law go through all the stages up to the president's desk and then sent back with a recommendation to amend by deleting 100% of all the clauses. What better way can that be than the fact that for the first time since independence, protesters came and overran Parliament? To me, from where I sit, it's a clear sign that Kenyans or people are tired of the leadership, including myself.
Okay.
And that is why I'm on record as saying I think it is time we looked for a fresh mandate. It is the right thing to do. It is a moral thing to do. And we don't have to go very far. United Kingdom have just come from an election out of the feeling that people had lost trust in the government. Same with France. In fact, France have just come from an election. Why is it that in Kenya we are so special that we want to bury our heads in the sand as the proverbial ostrich would do?
Okay, all right.
Do you think going forward, the average man on the street will trust Parliament again as it is currently constituted? And that's the question I'm asking. My answer is no.
All right. Well, let's get in a fresh and different voice into this. Of course, I'm also joined by Bob Mkangi, who's a constitutional lawyer. And Bob, just confirming if you can hear me, can you?
I can. I hope you can hear me. Hello?
All right, Bob. So the discussion right here has been going on, and I just want you to come in on the same. And what we're talking about right here is the picture that was created today during that function where the bill was signed into law. Mheshimiwa believes that we are still not getting what the majority of Kenyans are asking for right here. And there are two facets to my next question. The first one being they're asking for an overhaul of this whole system that we have, that we are operating in. So where does this leave the Gen Z protests and the asks for them in terms of overhauling this whole system, despite the president taking that initiative to actually offer and do something that was a demand for the opposition party? And secondly, in relation to constituting this IBC commission, I mean, the argument right there is still that with the new provisions in that particular law, it still doesn't cater to the fact that a majority of the people who will be making decisions right there will be assigned or assigned by political players. How do you feel about that?
First, let me take the opportunity to join Mheshimiwa, or has I think aptly been proposed. We start addressing Waheshimiwa, this title that started way back over 100 years ago, the Honorable. And we start calling them mtumishi or watumishi ama wahudumu, in condoling the families of our dear patriotic Kenyans who lost their lives during this fight for the rights of Kenyans during the past 3 weeks. Those who are convalescing with injuries, with trauma at home and in hospitals. We also, I take this opportunity on my behalf and that of my family to wish them Godspeed. And coming to the questions that you've asked, if I may start with the one about the optics of what we observed today at the KICC. I also sympathize with Tumishi there, Tumishi Manduku, in that I think the image we saw today, when you look across the final picture that I think was shared through different media, you don't see a collectivity or a representation of what Kenya is. Something that the 2010 Constitution incessantly repeats, and this is a call from Kenyans. And I think that face, unfortunately, and even the tone thereof, recommendations, and from what I'm picking from different media, and especially social media, is, again, that dissatisfaction and that thinking that there are those who are above others and they can think on behalf of others without perhaps consulting them. And I think that is why we are seeing our patriotic Kenyans, the Gen Z, coming to upset the current setup and come to remind us that the way the Constitution is designed, and especially when you look at the preamble, when you look at Article 1, when you look at Article 10, then the past 14 years in implementing this Constitution, we have not paid due fidelity to it. And that is why there was the outpour and clamor of patriotic Kenyans on the streets, primarily to come out and remind us of Article 1. And I think that is what Tumishi there today, and I think I've watched him on another occasion, admit that what has transpired in the past few days was a wake-up call, not only to the representatives of the people, to the employees of the people, but I think to the entire country. And now, as we are coming to observe, the entire region, the entire continent, and also globally, in terms of what democracy really means and what a social contract like we have in our Constitution means. And I think we are coming to terms to that. Yes, we want to state the positivity in the signing of the amendment bill that at least now opens the gates for the nomination of Kenyans who will serve in the selection panel that will nominate new IBC commissioners and leadership.
All right. Okay, well, Bob, of course, we're continuing with the conversation. At this point, we'd love to take a short break right here on Punchline. The hashtag, of course, is Punchline. The conversation is up and running on our social media platforms on X as well as on Facebook. Let's take that break. We'll be back in a short while.
From Germany to your K24 TV screens,